Yeah, we're heading out to the East Coast. We like going out there. New Jersey, Pennsylvania's been a hotbed for us to recruit, so we like to go out there and compete. Two really tough matches. First off, Princeton. Princeton has two returning NCAA finalists in their lineup, and we don't match up too well with these guys. And Penn has, I think, 9 returning NCAA qualifiers on their team. And again, a tough matchup. So it's going to be great for us. The travel is going to be tough, and to get these guys on the road, this was a planned thing to put these guys on the road the first 3 kind of weeks of the semester. And we're excited to get out there and test these guys again, and then really we can't wait to get home the following week in December 11th. So exciting to get out there, but we got our work cut out for us. It's going to be 2 really, really tough matches.
You mentioned it was planned to, get them on the road for the first 3 weeks. Why is that so important for you to just kind of see where they're at?
Yeah, we feel like we have an experienced team. We have 5 All-Americans on our team. So getting them on the road early and understanding the discipline and making your weight in a foreign environment, tough travel, and then putting them in tough situations, because that's what it is when you get to the Big Ten tournament, you get to the NCAA tournament. We tell our guys all the time, you don't win an NCAA tournament ever in your home arena. You don't win the Big Ten tournament. Sometimes you can do it, but it's once every 14 years now that you're in your home arena at the Big Ten. So you're most likely your biggest matches are going to be on the road. So we wanted to get them accustomed to traveling out there and being able to compete on the road. There's a lot of things that go into it with your nutrition and training and making weight. Plus, when we go on the road, the team seems to bond a lot more together. The traveling, the ride in the vans, the eating in the same room, just being in the hostile environments and being together. And it's always a great thing. We love it. The guys love it. And then, we always try to end that semester with a home duel and get these guys fired up for the second semester.
Coach, 2 wrestlers, Dean Hamady and Austin Gomez, competed in the NWCA All-Star last week. How did that go? What did they learn from their matches?
Yeah, everybody saw those matches. Gomez went out there and did what he does and scored 3 takedowns in 20 seconds or something to have a come from behind win. Wasn't his best match. But if you've seen the schedule that guy has had, you would and how exhausted he was. He traveled to Mexico. We traveled to New York. He wrestled Yanni, which was an emotional match, a 3-time defending champion. And then to get him on that trip, right? It was to wrestle Sasso, who was one of the best guys in the country. It shows what kind of guy Austin is. He wasn't at his best and was still able to find a way to win. And that's how you win NCAA championships. And so the sky is the limit for him right now. His confidence is an all-time high. We got him some rest over Thanksgiving break, and now he's ready to roll again. And then DJ didn't have a good match. He went out there and he just didn't have a good match. And not to take anything away from Keegan. Keegan's a stud, and he's the returning national champ. But DJ didn't have his best match, which is good. So we learned a little bit there, and I think the next time you see DJ wrestle this week, he'll be a different guy, and he'll be ready to go.
What's the environment like in this, this tournament coming up,
So it's cool, right? It's at the Prudential Center. It's an NHL arena. There'll be, it's a 20-some thousand seat arena. They try to do this just like the NCAA tournament. There'll be 4 mats down. It's really actually a cool deal. They do a great job out there, and that's why I like going. The events run really well, and it's really we were supposed to. We're trying to do a Big Ten ACC challenge, Big Ten. So this one's a Big Ten EIWA challenge. We have 4 Big Ten teams there, 4 schools from the EIWA. No Big Ten teams will wrestle each other, obviously. So we're trying to grow the sport, trying to make it big. Basketball successful doing these things, and there'll be a ton of fans there. They've got some local teams, Drexel, UPenn. Princeton, Rutgers, and so they'll draw some fans, and we're just trying to grow it and get these guys to wrestle in front of environments that they're about to get into when we get into the Big Ten and the NCAA season.
With the showcase coming up on December 11th, we have 3 different duels all happening simultaneously across different divisions. Can you tell us why we wanted to host this type of event?
Yeah, this is something that we got together with, Coach Malachek at UW La Crosse, with Coach Becker at UW Parkside, and I feel like it's our responsibility to grow the sport. And the state of Wisconsin has many great programs Division I, Division II, and Division III. We wanted these kids in Wisconsin to see that there's something at every level for them. Not everybody's a Division I wrestler. And again, in growing the sport and growing wrestling in general, we're about to put 3 Wisconsin NCAA teams in one arena. We did it last year up at La Crosse, and it was amazing, and they had a great crowd. It's our turn to host it. We're getting an unbelievable response. I think there's going to be a lot of people here. Next year we'll take it to Parkside, and hopefully we can keep this thing going and let everybody in the state, the kids, see, hey, even if it's mentors of theirs or whoever, it's a place for them to get out and watch every level of wrestling in one arena.
I know it's been a couple years, but that high school all-star team with you and Coach Fickell, what do you remember about him?
He's an animal. He's an animal. He went out and he pinned. I remember the kid's name he pinned too. He probably doesn't remember the kid's name, but his name was Wally Wickline. It was the first time too, so that's a big deal. If you guys look that up, it's called the Dapper Dan now. They still do it to this day. And we were on Team USA, and they always wrestle Team Pennsylvania. And Team USA had not beaten Pennsylvania in, 25, 30 years. And I was the last match. I was wrestling there, Kerry Colott. He was the best thing since sliced bread. So I was the very last match. And I believe Coach Fickell was, then they went, and he was kind of right before me as a heavyweight. And he went out and pinned his guy to put us up. So we were up by 5 points going into my match. And so he went out. We were losing, obviously, by a point, and he went out there and pinned his guy to put us up by 5. And I went out there and we tied. There was ties back then. So he really won the duel for Team USA with his pin. And I remember he's amazing. And I followed him throughout his career when he was playing football, and was like, that guy was on my days to say it too. The announcers. He was on this team, this USA team, but. He's going to be awesome. I haven't got a chance to really see him. I know he's busy, but I can't wait to get a hold of him and reminisce a little bit. And he's going to be awesome for our program, and he's going to do a great job. I'm fired up that he's here.
I guess, these past couple of months, what's maybe the biggest takeaway that you've learned from your team as you move forward?
Our guys are confident. They're confident. They're a confident bunch of guys. We got our butts kicked in Florida, and it kind of, I was a little worried because it didn't faze them. It didn't faze them, and they got in the room, and they're like, Coach, we're fine. Don't worry, we're fine. You put us to work. We're gonna be just fine. It wasn't me saying we're just fine. They were telling me, don't worry about us. We're gonna get this thing done. We're gonna be the best. We want to be the best team that's ever come through Wisconsin this year. That's kind of at the University of Wisconsin. Don't worry, our goals are still right there. It's November. They were calming me down because I was a little worried. And then they go out to Cornell and have a great performance, and we'll see. It's our third time out. Let's see where we are this third time out. And we'd like to have a great performance there, and then come back and have a great performance. But I'm confident in these guys. We just got to be very consistent from here on out and perform at the way they can perform, and we're going to be just fine.